Newton, law of inertia versus Galileo assertion on horizontal motion. Galileo assertion, early experiment on motion started with Galileo Galilei, an Italian scientist. He conducted experiment on motion and identified two types. First, natural horizontal motion and natural vertical motion. Consider a ball rolling off a table based from Galileo. The ball's motion as both natural horizontal motion and natural vertical motion as can be seen in the figure at the right. Galileo further conducted experiments on the motion of a ball. He used inclined planes and hard and smooth surface to observe its motion. First, he rolled the ball from one inclined plane to another inclined plane. He then observed that the ball almost reached the height from which it was released as shown at the right. Second, he varied the stiffness of the second inclined plane. He then found out that even if stiffness of the second inclined plane is decreased, the ball would still reach the same height it reached in the line first experiment as shown at. Lastly, Galileo removed the second inclined plane and watched the ball. He observed the ball and made a conclusion that the ball would continue to move in a straight line with constant speed as shown at the right. Galileo concluded that in the absence of friction between the object and the air or the surface, a ball rolling down an inclined plane would continue to roll indefinitely. According to him, an object moving along a horizontal plane would continue to move with a constant velocity without the need for a consistent force to sustain its motion. He also stated that an object moving vertically would accelerate at a constant rate. According to Galileo, an object in horizontal motion has constant velocity, moreover an object in vertical motion has constant acceleration.
Difference between Newton's and Galileo's assertion on motion. Isaac Newton also investigated motion and came up with an almost similar interpretation as Galileo's. Newton also pointed out that an object in horizontal motion has constant velocity as stated by Galileo. However, for an object in vertical motion, Newton claimed that it has a constant velocity as well. He further explained that an object will only accelerate when a force is applied to it. Thus, in the absence of the downward force that pulls things down to earth, an object will travel with constant velocity along the direction where it is propelled. Newton believed that the velocities of objects are constant in both horizontal motion and vertical motion, unless these objects are acted upon by an external force. According to Galileo, an object in horizontal motion has a constant velocity, while an object in vertical motion has constant acceleration. According to Newton, an object in horizontal or vertical motion has constant velocity. Newton stated that an object will accelerate when a force is applied to it. According to Galileo, an object in horizontal motion has constant velocity, while an object in vertical motion has constant acceleration. According to Newton, an object in horizontal or vertical motion has a constant velocity. Newton stated that an object will accelerate when a force is applied to it. Newton's law of acceleration and law of universal gravitation. Gravitational force and acceleration. When an object is dropped from a certain height, it will fall faster and faster before it reaches the ground. Kapag may isang bagay na nahulog mula sa isang taas, bibilis ito ng bibilis bago ito makarating sa lupa. Instead of falling at a constant velocity, the object is said to be accelerating. Sa halip na mahulog sa pare-parehong bilis, sinasabing bumibilis ang bagay. Newton stated in his second law, the law of acceleration, that when a force is applied to an object, this force will cause a body to accelerate. Thus, Newton formulated that object accelerating towards Earth must be under the influence of a force. This force that accelerates object towards Earth is what he argues to be the force of gravity of Earth. Gravity, also known as the gravitational force, is the force that accelerates everything towards Earth. This is the force that keeps everything on the surface or the ground. The acceleration due to gravity, also known as gravitational acceleration, is the rate at which objects accelerate at its land to the ground. The acceleration due to gravity has a constant value of the universal law of gravitation. Newton further described gravity as a force that depends on certain factors. 1. The gravitational force between bodies with masses is directly proportional to the product of their masses. And 2. The gravitational force between bodies with masses is inversely proportional to the square of the distance of the centers of their mass distributions. The gravitational attraction between Earth and Moon as two masses separated by a distance. Therefore, for any two objects in the universe, the force of gravity that each object will experience depends on the mass of the objects and the distance between them. The relationship can be expressed mathematically as where F is the force in Newton, m1 and m2 are the masses in kilograms, r is the separation distance in meters, and g is the universal gravitation constant, a proportionality constant used in describing the gravitational force between two objects, which is equals to the relationship between gravitational force, mass, and separation distance is summarized in Newton's law of universal gravitation, which states that an object attracts every other object in the universe using a force directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. This gravitational force is actually based from Newton's third law of motion, the law of interaction. Considering the Earth-Moon system, because of Earth's gravitational pull, it attracts moons towards it. Based from the law of interaction, in response, Moon also exerts a force in opposite direction to the Earth's gravitational pull. This exchange of forces produces a net force that defines the gravitational attraction between Earth and Moon. The greater the masses of the objects means that there is a stronger gravitational force between them. What is the gravitational force of attraction between two bowling balls with a mass of 8 kg each separated by a distance of 2 meters from their center? Step 1. Identify what is required to find in the problem. You are asked to find the gravitational force of attraction between two bowling balls. Step 2. Identify the given in the problem. The masses of the balls and their distance are given. Step 3. Write the working equation. Step 4. Substitute the given values. Step 5. Find the answer.
Acceleration of freely falling bodies. Newton's second law of motion and law of universal gravitation can be used to solve for the acceleration of free-falling bodies near the Earth's surface. Ang ikalawang batas ng pagdilaw ay batas ng universal gravitation ni Newton ay maaari gamitin upang solusyon para sa pagbilis ng mga libreng pumabalok na katawan malapit sa buhay ng lupa. Newton's second law of motion of a free-falling body. Newton's second law of motion states that the acceleration of an object is directly proportional to the force exerted on the object and inversely proportional to the mass of the object. The The relationship can be expressed mathematically as F. Ang ikalawang batas ng paggalaw ni Newton ay nagsasaad na ang acceleration ng isang bagay ay direktang proportional sa pwersang ibinibigay sa bagay at inversely proportional sa masa ng bagay. Ang relasyon ay maaaring ipahayag sa matematika bilang F A M A, where F is the force in Newton and M is the mass in kilograms and A is the acceleration in m's. So, free falling body with mass equal to m, f of v, the equation for Newton's second law becomes Newton's law of universal gravitational states that an object attracts every other object in the universe using a force directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the squares of the distance between them. Newton's law of universal gravitation of a free-falling body. The gravitational attraction between Earth and Moon has too much just m and m separate by a distance. The relationship can be expressed mathematically as where F is the force in Newton, M1 and M2 are the masses in kilograms. R is the separation distance in meters, and G is the universal gravitation constant, which is equal to 6.67 times 10. For a prevailing body near the surface of the Earth, the equation to Newton's law of universal gravitation becomes where F is the force in Newton, m is the mass of the Earth, mfb is the mass of the prevailing body, r is the radius of the Earth, rFFPB is the duration with use of the prevailing body, and G is the gravitation. Newton's law of universal gravitation on a prevailing body. Where F is the force in Newton, ME is the mass of the Earth, MFFB is the mass of the prevailing body, R is the radius of the Earth, RFFB is the radius of the prevailing body, G is the universal gravitation constant, which is to 6.67 times 10 to the 11. Acceleration of a free-falling body. Combining the equations of force obtained from Newton's second law of motion and law and universal gravitation. Acceleration of a free-falling body. Algebraically, MFFB can be cancelled out as the radius of Earth, or is significantly larger than the radius of the prevailing body. RFFB can be cancelled out in the total R. The above equation shows that the acceleration of a free-falling body depends only on Earth's mass and radius, not on the mass of the free-falling body. To solve for the value of acceleration, the values of the radius and the mass of Earth are used.
Newton's law of motion and Kepler's law of planetary motion. Description of motion. The motion of objects can be described using scientific laws. Newton's law of motion can be used to describe the motion of objects as tiny as a speck of dust or as massive as a planet or a star. Kepler's law of planetary motion can be used to describe the movement of the planets orbiting the Sun. The laws formulated by both Isaac Newton and Johannes Kepler simply describe the occurrence of an observed phenomenon. Unlike theories, these laws do not attempt to explain why things behave in a certain way. Sa konteksto ni Isaac Newton at Johannes Kepler, ang kanilang mga batas ay naglalarawan ng mga natural na phenomenon, gaya ng galaw ng mga planeta at mga puwersang pisikal. Ang mga batas na ito ay nagbibigay ng tiyak at detalyadong paliwanag kung ano ang nangyayari ngunit hindi tinutukoy bakit ito nangyayari, na siya namang saklaw ng mga teorya. Newton Law of Motion. There are three laws of motion formulated by Newton. These are, number 1, law of inertia, which states that an object will remain in its state of motion unless acted upon by a net external force. According to Newton's first law, the box will not move since the force exerted is equal and opposite to the frictional force present on the ground as she pushes it. This produces a net external force of 0 on the box. 2. Law of acceleration, which states that an object acceleration is directly proportional to and has the same direction as the net force. Based on Newton's second law, the acceleration of soccer ball as it is kicked will depend on the force exerted by the foot of the soccer player on it. 3. Law of interaction, which states that for every action there is a reaction with equal magnitude and opposite direction. When you push the wall exerts back a force, an equal amount of force to you based on Newton's third law of motion. Kepler's law of planetary motion. There are also three laws of planetary motion formulated by Kepler. These are, number 1, law of ellipses, which states that the actual path followed by the planet is elliptical, not circular, with the sun at one focus on the ellipse. The ellipse path of the planet revolving around the sun based on Kepler's law of ellipse. 2. Law of equal areas, which states that when an imaginary line is drawn from the center of the sun to the center of a planet, the line will sweep out an equal area of space in equal time intervals. According to Kepler's law of equal areas, an imaginary line drawn from the center of a planet to the sun will sweep out equal areas in equal time interval. 3. Law of harmonies, which states that the square of planet's orbital period is proportional to the cube of a planet's average distance from the sun. Axioms and empirical laws. Laws can be considered either as an axiom or an empirical law. An axiom is a statement that is accepted to be true but it is still unproven. Empirical laws are different descriptions supported by actual observations and are not derived from existing laws. An axiom is a rule or statement that is generally accepted to be true without proof. Newton's law of motion are considered to be axioms. These laws of motion are taken to be true but they are unproven and cannot be proven. They hold true only when assumptions are established. Kepler's law of planetary motion are empirical laws because they are based on observations and computation of planetary movements. Kepler's laws were not derived from any existing law and were based on actual evidence. Furthermore, you can directly observe and gather physical evidence to prove that Kepler's law of planetary motion are true. An axiom is a statement that is accepted to be true but it is still unproven. Empirical laws are descriptions supported by actual observations and are not derived from existing laws. Newton's law of motion are considered to be axioms because these are taken to be true but they are unproven and cannot be proven. Kepler's law of planetary motion are empirical laws because they are based on observations and computation of planetary movements.